Hi everyone, thank you for tuning in to Southern Ghost Stories, where we talk about some of the most haunted places in the South. I'm your host Chelsea, along with Alan.
Hey there.
We hope you enjoyed our last podcast on the Rutherford County Courthouse in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. If you're interested in finding out more information about the courthouse or other haunted locations in Middle Tennessee, check out our Nashville Ghost Map app, which allows you to customize your own ghost tour, along with our book, Southern Ghost Stories, Historical Hauntings. Today, we'll be talking about the Seelbach Hotel, located in Louisville, Kentucky. The hotel is not only one of the most beautiful hotels in Kentucky, it's also one of the nicest in the country. In fact, the hotel is also rumored to be the reason that F. Scott Fitzgerald wrote The Great Gatsby in 1925, and is even mentioned in the novel. Fitzgerald met notorious bootlegger George Remus at the hotel bar. It's believed that Remus was the inspiration for the character J. Gatsby. The grand ballroom on the top floor of the hotel, as well as the infamous Rathskeller in the basement, were used by Leonardo DiCaprio and the cast of The Great Gatsby when the film was remade in 2013. When you walk into the lobby, it does feel like you're walking into the past of a different time. Alan, you want to go ahead and start us off with some of the history of the Seelbach?
Yeah, of course. Louis Seelbach immigrated from Germany in 1869 and started working jobs around Louisville to make ends meet. In 1874, he started the Seelbach Bar and Grill. He did so well that he convinced his brother Otto to join him in 1891. Together, they built a hotel above his restaurant on the corner of 6th and Main. Louis and Otto wanted to build the first large upscale hotel in Louisville, like they had seen in Europe as children. They purchased a plot of land on the corner of 4th and what is now Muhammad Ali Boulevard for the Seelbach. The grand opening was May 1st, 1905, the week before the Kentucky Derby. Business was booming, and the hotel was a place to be seen in Louisville. 2 years later, the hotel expanded to 500 rooms, and it hosted notable people such as F. Scott Fitzgerald, the Rolling Stones, Elvis Presley, and presidents William Howard Taft, Woodrow Wilson, Franklin Roosevelt, Harry Truman, John F. Kennedy, Lyndon Johnson, Jimmy Carter, and Bill Clinton. It's a lot of presidents. In the 1920s, the hotel was a haven for gangsters of the era like Lucky Luciano. Al Capone was a regular guest of the Seelbach as well. During Prohibition, Capone would travel from Chicago to East Tennessee to pick up moonshine to bring back home. On his way back, the notorious gangster would always come by the Seelbach. He would stop in every few months and enjoyed playing cards in what is now the Oak Room. Capone was a regular, and he had a mirror installed in the room so he could sit across from it. He could watch his back, as well as see what cards his friends were playing. When police showed up to hassle Capone, a lookout would step on a button that closed the doors of the room. When the doors closed, Capone knew it was time to make his getaway. The Seelbach installed a series of secret passageways inside the walls that led to tunnels that ran underneath Louisville all the way to the Ohio River. The tunnels were sealed up several years ago and are no longer in operation.
The Seelbach is thought to be extremely haunted. The most notable spirit that resides at the Seelbach is the Lady in Blue. The Lady in Blue is thought to be a woman named Patricia Wilson. Patricia and her husband were originally from Oklahoma, but moved to Louisville for her husband's job. Her husband was a traveling auto parts salesman, and due to all the traveling his job entailed, their marriage had its ups and downs. In fact, on July 16, 1936, when Patricia checked into the Seelbach, she and her husband had divorced, and this is where the story gets a little muddy. One version is that Patricia came to the Seelbach wearing an orchid dress and white heels to meet her ex-husband. The couple was trying to work through some difficulties in their marriage, and a night at the Seelbach might be good for them. When her husband didn't arrive, the woman began to worry that something might be wrong. When she went outside to get some fresh air, the police were gathered around a grisly scene. A man had been hit by a car and was killed in front of the hotel. When the lady saw it was her husband, she hysterically ran back to the hotel, went to the 8th floor, and jumped to her death into the service elevator shaft. Another version of the story is that Patricia was thrown down the elevator shaft by her angry husband, or possibly a jealous boyfriend she had been rumored to be spending time with after an argument had gotten out of hand. Whichever version you believe, one thing is certain. Patricia's body was found the next morning on top of a service elevator by a hotel employee. Patricia either jumped or was pushed and sustained several fractures in both of her legs as well as a fractured skull. Needless to say, Patricia was dead as soon as she landed. Since this version was in the media, most likely the first version never happened. However, it's still worth mentioning. A year later, another lawsuit was filed against Henry H. Denhart. He had been accused of killing his fiancée years prior and was now being accused of murdering Patricia. There was talk that he was dating her, and during an argument, he had become enraged and threw her down the elevator shaft. Denhart denies ever even knowing Patricia and cited the accusation against his political rivals for being behind the lawsuit. However, Denhart was shot and killed by his fiancée's brothers days before he even went to trial, so the murder case for Patricia was retired. Since then, the Lady in Blue has been spotted at the hotel by numerous guests and employees.
According to legend, in 1987, a hotel chef was preparing food for a Sunday brunch when he saw a lady in a blue dress with long brown hair get into an elevator. What makes this story really strange is that the elevator doors never opened. The chef spotted a security guard and reported what he had seen. Ironically enough, a housekeeper on the second floor reported seeing the same woman just a few minutes later. And like the chef's report, the lady walked right through the doors. Supposedly this stuff happens often. Hotel staff will hear something only to stop what they are doing and turn around, but no one is there. Some people claim to have smelled the Lady in Blue's perfume in various parts of the hotel. Guests have also experienced hearing strange things. Employees at the front desk tell stories of guests that hear knocking on their door late at night. Typically, security is called when they find that no one is there. Some nights, the spirits like to walk around the halls late at night in the Seelbach, leaving guests perplexed as to why they hear heavy footsteps outside their room. Other nights, the ghosts will turn on TVs in the middle of the night just to spook the guests. The 8th floor is a hot spot for paranormal activity in the building. Footsteps are often heard walking the hall on the 8th floor when no one is present. Guests also talk of feeling cold spots on the floor, even in the summertime when it's 90 degrees outside. There was a report of a hotel employee seeing a man wearing old clothes from the early 20th century looking out a window in a room on the 8th floor. When they asked at the front desk about who was staying in the room, they learned it was vacant. When security was called to the room to investigate, they found an old man in front of the window. As they walked towards him, the man disappeared right in front of their eyes.
We hope you enjoyed hearing all about the Seelbach. If you would like to learn more about the hotel and want to take your own customized haunted tour of Louisville, download the Louisville Ghost Map app in iTunes. Also, visit our website, southernghoststories.com, along with our book, Southern Ghost Stories, Historical Hauntings. Please feel free to leave a comment or send us a message on our Facebook or Instagram accounts. Let us know about any creepy experiences you may have had, or give us some ideas on which locations you would like to hear us talk about. Be sure to subscribe and check back with us next time as we discover the 1790 Inn, one of the most haunted places in Savannah, Georgia. Don't make me start giggling.
Louis Seelbach immigrated from Germany
It's believed that Remus was the... Remus? Is that what you said?
Remus.
Say it again.
According to legend... Man, I can't talk today.
The hotel is also rumored to be the reason that F. Scott Fitzgerald